Hello, I am Shantika. I am a data analyst at Rise Higher Education, and today I'm in conversation with Prashansa, one of our alumni who has completed her master's from University of Colorado.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so Prashansa, will you just give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Prashansa. I took services from Rise Higher Education while I was applying for my master's back in 2022. 2021 to 2022, they helped me, with the essays and everything, all the part of the application process. Akriti and her team helped me with it. I just got graduated from University of Colorado at Boulder, Leeds School of Business, in Masters in Business Analytics, wherein my focus was on decision science. Prior to joining the course and prior to continuing my masters, I was a financial analyst back in India for around 4 years, wherein I worked with Infosys, where my client was Goldman Sachs, and then I worked with EXL, where my client was Citibank. So I was into financial analyst before this, and then I wanted to, just get a hang of how, like, what changes would be there in the degree, and I can talk more about it once we get into a conversation. But yeah, that's more or less about me.
Okay, so can you tell me a bit about the experiences and whole thought process that led you to Colorado for your master's?
Yeah. So, first of all, let me start with why I chose analytics. Because I was into financial analysis before, and I was contemplating between an MBA and, um, so I first of all, I did not, while I was starting to, list down what courses I wanted to choose. I was sure that I wanted to do something in management because I wanted to go into the leadership roles. I was already at a leadership role in technical terms, so to say. I was leading a team of 4 people within EXL, but I wanted to get a hang of how it would be in the business environment and communication with the leadership. So I was somehow convinced that I wanted to do something in managerial sense, and MBA was the only option that I knew before researching. Once I started researching, I thought that the only options would be data science, which was in engineering schools, or MBA, which the business schools provided. Here, while researching, I found that there is an amalgamation of both the things which the business school provides, because that was the main objective. I wanted to do something from the business school because of the networking opportunities that you get in the business school, and since I was technologically okay in terms of analytics, I wanted that part of networking to come into my application or wherever I applied. And hence I found this course, which a lot of business schools actually do apply, do offer in the US specifically, which is MS in Business Analytics. In a lot of other countries also, this course is offered by business schools, which is, I applied in Canada as well as in Ireland as well, and both the courses were offered by the business schools respectively. So yeah, that's why I chose business analytics. Coming to Colorado Boulder, so I got in touch when I knew that, okay, this is the course that I wanted. I got in touch with Akriti and her team, and we sort of figured out and listed the list of colleges as per my application and as per whatever experience and GRE scores and everything that I had. I kind of figured out with what are the schools that are like highly ambitious, what are the schools which are in my category, what are the schools which I will definitely get into. And we had that conversation while I was in India. I think QS ranking is a big thing back in India, and I kind of stick to those, wherein, whichever is in high QS ranking, I would have it highly ambitious based on their application process and how things go about it. But yeah, we did apply to a lot of schools, and this was one of the ambitious schools that we had, and I got into it. And yeah, that's why Colorado Boulder.
That's great. Also, can you give us a brief about the preparations which you did during your application stage, like the admission essays or the shortlisting of the programs, etc.?
Mhm. Yeah, so So the part of the application is you apply, and then you have to have your SOPs ready, you have to have your scores ready. To my surprise, a lot of universities, especially in the US, are not asking for GRE GMAT scores, and they are waving away GRE GMAT scores. So that was I delayed a process for around 2 years because I wanted to get a better score and all that stuff, which really does not matter. So that's one tip, that if you're if you're if you do not have a good score, let's just put it that way, do not shy away from applying to a lot of schools, because most of the schools don't even, mostly they don't care about your GRE or GMAT scores, especially in the business analytics field. And also, if you see a QS ranking of, if there's a difference of even 5 or 10 or whatever, 20 as well, it does not really matter here in the US specifically. And one more thing that I did not know was that the school whichever you're applying to, if you talk to them, they are really helpful in waiving off a lot of fees, which I did not really know. So yeah. But coming to the prep part of it, obviously, Akriti and I sat and we discussed what are the schools that we wanted to apply to. And uh, so first of all, the first task that she gave me, which actually helped me a lot, was just to go through the curriculum of all the courses and whichever I was interested in. The schools that I was interested in, I would go to the website, see the course curriculum, if the subjects were of my interest. If they were not, then there's no point in applying for that school. So yeah, that was one of the shortlisting parameters. uh, Going forward, there were a few questions and answers going on between me and her team, and she was also thoroughly involved in the process, wherein from as basic as, there are a few things which we do not understand, are very important part of our life, and can be put together in a story. So we do not really think that they are important part, but she kind of had those questions which would bring about those important stories, and we could form an SOP as to why this university is better, and why am I a particular fit for that university. From application waivers, essays for application waivers, to scholarship essays, to the SOP in general. Like, she helped me with the whole process. Even after the admission, she helped me with the visa process, the visa interview questions, and all that. So yeah, that was the saving grace actually, where she helped me with each part, from selecting the school to coming here to the US, until the visa questions and visa process. She helped me with all of those.
So that's very. Was this your first time studying abroad?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
This was I came here for the first time for my
Okay,
masters.
so generically, how challenging is it to socialize and accommodate to a whole new country? Like, how did you get involved in the community?
I would say it's not. Okay, so to some bit it is challenging, but since I have experience of, I did my undergrad from Dehradun and I'm from Delhi, so I had that cultural shift, or like being accepted within part of, or being accepting of all the people around you. I had that exposure, but coming here, since it's a totally different life, I had this. I mean, come up with an open mindedness, like, there should not be any blockage with respect to, okay, I'll only talk to this group of people, I'll only be interacting with these people. Like, you should be open and welcoming to all the people around. And like, I have a lot of friends who are from the US, who are not traditionally Indians or Pakistanis or Bangladeshis, which we call desis here. So just to be accepting of religion, and um, a lot of times you will not understand a lot of cultural differences and things that are coming, and just to be open to accepting those as well is a, like, this was the first time that I actually attended a Christmas wherein I did not, like, traditionally it is a whole different level of celebration here. So that was a very enriching and big experience. Obviously Diwali wasn't as big, but just to have uh, that acceptance of, okay, there is going to be something which is very culturally big for people here, and just to be accepting of that, and being open to talking to all people from different groups and sects, and understanding just interacting with them on a daily basis. I think that's the key. It's nothing like you should get out of your comfort zone and talk to people. That's about it. Nothing nothing scientific here. Just
Okay,
talk to
so
people on a daily basis.
can you share your favorite part about living and studying in US then?
Um, Favorite part, that's a tough question. The weather is good. I mean, I I'm specifically in Boulder, which is a very vacation friendly city. I step out of my like in my I see flatirons from my balcony, which are the mountains. Like if I show you the view, it's amazing. So it's very calm and peaceful out here. The best part that I would still like to say is in my class we had so many different people, and I got to interact with so many of them, and just the idea of working in a team environment and interacting with different set of teams every lecture or in every subject that you take, that's the key part of it. And that's why I actually wanted to study in the US, or maybe abroad. Let's just say abroad broadly, because you get to, first of all, you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're trying to do something, you're taking calculated risks obviously with your life, and while taking that you're also trying to mingle among a community which you're not part of, and just to have that experience and exposure of, okay, what else is happening around me, where because I have been in a protective environment, we have been raised in a protective environment, be it our parents, friends, and whatever, just to find your place within the society, and acceptance and a lot of other things. So I think that's the interesting part, where you're trying to, while you're trying to adjust, you're also trying to find yourself. What do you like, what do you do not like? So yeah, I think that's the interesting part.
Okay, so I actually love the part that you actually got the diverse culture there because I talked to some other people and they said mostly they were, desis more than
Oh
the
yes,
international. So,
that was also one of the key reasons why Boulder was one of my preferences, because I got into other
okay,
schools where a lot of Indians generally apply. But the whole
okay.
point of my, like, the driving force of me going abroad and studying abroad was I wanted to get in touch with different group of people. And if I like might as well, if I wanted to study with Indians itself, I would have done a master's in India, which is equivalent. So yeah.
Okay, so how was your experience as an international student? Like, what changes did you notice between between two countries' education system, like India and US?
Um, I think with respect to the course, I would still say that the course would have been similar. Like the curriculum, the subjects would have been similar, but just the amount of practicality that the course provides here is very different than the amount of practicality that you get in India. The hands-on experience that you get. I I also think that the diversity, equity, and inclusion factor in India is not as much as it is respected and obeyed here. That everyone is respectful and everyone is conscious. They consciously make efforts to understand where you're coming from and to provide you a very equitable environment. I think that is also a big change. They are open to changing their set of rules as well, if a lot of people have the same issue, and then they don't shy away from changing something, from having not having that cultural experience, and if you're bringing that to the table, then they are open to changing those as well, which is a very big change.
Yeah, that's great actually. Are there any scholarships or grants that you would recommend or worth applying for in the
uh,
university?
for Boulder, specifically, I'm not sure, because the waivers or the scholarships are considered as part of the application process. Having said that, I would still recommend applying in the first round, because that's when the scholarship amount is very high, as even as part of the application process. So I would say that. And having worked as a student ambassador with the Leeds School of Business, I would say that they are very helpful in all parts of the process, where if you are struggling with $1,000 waiver, the $1,000 application fee, they can give you a waiver, and a lot of things. So they're very open to, if you have an admit, they're very open to, working with you on how they can make your life easier rather than make it tough for you to, in terms of money, I would say. They want people to come and study.
Because you were a student ambassador with Leeds University.
Yes, yeah. So I was working a couple of jobs, like the part-time jobs, I was working a couple of them. So yeah, I was a research assistant as well as a student ambassador for with the Leeds School of Business.
Okay. So, Prashansa, can you share any experiences or insights regarding the application process for OPT? Also, can you
Mhm.
put some light on the services that are provided by the university in these areas?
Oh yeah, so our university, especially, I can only talk about Boulder. They were very prompt in all of these things. They had specific, especially for international students, they had these courses which we had to take. Like online, there was a deadline and everything, just to understand if we understood the whole OPT process. There is a particular international student services team which is dedicated for international students, to work with them on their OPT applications. Any part of the application that you have any issue in, they are very open to working with you on that. We have pre-OPT trainings, post-OPT completion trainings, what are the things that you need to do, and they make it a point to make you understand what are the prerequisites, what are the things that you need. And those sessions happen on a daily basis. Like you can go and register as per your own convenience. So yeah, that's one thing. Having said that, Leeds also did a lot of workshops for students within Leeds. So even the business school takes that effort with international students, wherein they would not fall behind the deadline of applying for OPT, or the deadline of like, everybody knows the timelines. Let's just say that they make sure that everybody knows the timelines, and they apply within that stipulated amount of time. So yeah, the school takes a lot of effort in that. Coming to the OPT process, once you are so you can apply for OPT 2 months before the start of your before your program ends. So say for example, if my program ends on May 15th, I can apply for my OPT from April, March, from Feb or something, 3 months before. So I can have my OPT application with USCIS from February 15th. And then if I graduate by May 15th, the last that I can apply my OPT for is 2 months after, which is July 15th. So that would be the last day where I have to apply for an OPT with USCIS. Say I apply somewhere in March 15th, around March 15th. It takes around 8 weeks in general for the whole for your EAD card to be physically with you. So that's the whole process, and the school as well as uh, the university makes it a point to uh, to just educate students as to what the process is and what the timelines are.
Okay. So I'm for Masters in Business
Mhm.
Analyst, right? So, and
Correct.
you have worked as a financial analyst.
Yeah.
So, can I ask you some questions regarding on the field of business analytics? Because this is the
Sure.
like very very common course and
Yeah.
profile
Yeah.
which is boosting right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
and students are actually very confused about what type of things they should go for, and
Mhm.
and since there are a lot of tools in the market, also many students are wasting their
Yeah.
time practicing multiple of them, and then
Yeah.
being proficient in none of them. So
Correct.
so on what type of skills a student should actually spend their time on?
Okay, one of the most important things that I think a student should spend time on is the interpersonal skills, just the way of how there's no point if things are in your head and you cannot communicate. So, one of the things is interpersonal skills. You should know what you're thinking and you should be able to correctly articulate it to the person who you're trying, to your stakeholders, let's just say that. In terms of tools and techniques, I think Python or R, any of those are a good starting point. Um
And not
Depends if
SQL?
you want to. Yeah. So
Okay.
Python or R, then SQL is one. Like, so I'm
Mhm.
going in terms of from front end or back end. Like, let's go that
Right.
ways. Wherein, so if you know Python, you will have a database attached to it. You should know SQL. I would say uh, just the basics of SQL, as well as if you have time, you can go into NoSQL as well. But that depends on the course, if whatever you're taking and whatever you're interested in. If you're interested in business intelligence, business analytics, I think SQL is good enough. And then Power BI or Tableau, any of those visualization tools are very important. But you specifically, if you want to go into data science or data analytics, I think Python or R, and then just the basic understanding of how machine learning models work. That's important. If you want to do predictive analytics, depends on the stage of analytics that you are applying to. So if you want to go into predictive and prescriptive analytics, you would want machine learning or artificial intelligence clubbed with Python, or clubbed with Python itself, not R. And then going forward, if you want to go into data engineering or data warehousing and those kind of jobs, then you need to have NoSQL, Spark SQL, Hadoop, any of the big data structure apart from SQL, because SQL will remain the base. And then on top of it, you will need any of the big data tools, Hadoop, be it Hadoop, Apache Spark, or Databricks, anything that you want to have. And then obviously visualization tools are important. So be it Power BI or Tableau. I would say dashboarding is very important. Even if you do not know DAX functions or dynamic dashboarding, that's fine. But a basic understanding of how can you display your data or correctly visualize your data with the correct form of graphs or anything, that's really important. So yeah, I'd say on the whole, if you are going into any type of analytics, Python or R, SQL, or and any of the visualization tools. These three are the basic things that you need to have.
Okay, and about the visualization part, I would like to ask, which do you think is more, beneficial to learn, Tableau or Power BI?
It depends. It really depends on the company that you want to work for and what they're using.
Okay.
I don't think they're very different. A lot of companies use Microsoft as their base, but in student life, as well as in generally, like big
Mm.
companies use Microsoft, but if you apply for startups and everything like that, not a lot of startups use Power BI. They take
Mm.
Salesforce for their customer, and then Tableau, since Salesforce has taken over Tableau, so that comes free with it. I would say, since I don't have a Windows laptop, I didn't use Power BI ever. I used Power BI back in Infosys when I was working for Goldman Sachs.
Okay.
But other than that, I haven't used Tableau. I haven't used Power BI. I've only used Tableau because I have a Windows laptop. I have a Mac, so Tableau works better in terms of environment, because
Okay.
I can't use Power BI on a Mac unless I have a computer. Then I
Mm.
can use, even if I have a Mac computer, I can use Power BI on that. But that's not possible all the time. So I would say just a basic understanding of Tableau is also better.
Okay, okay. And how much does the work experience matter in this field, like in US or in India?
In India, it does. I think it would matter, but you would get good jobs even at a starting level. Also, like I would say, uh, it's not difficult to get a job as a fresher if you have some basic understanding of these tools. In the US, as far as the job market is concerned right now, I am not too sure, because not a lot of the people who did not have work experience have interviews right now. But I think going forward, it because our university provides experiences in terms of so if, I would say if you don't have experience back in India, I would say choose a course which allows you for internship opportunities here in the US, so that it compensates. If you have some experience in India, then I would say choosing a course like mine, which does not have internship opportunities within the curriculum, would be still okay, because you still have some experience of working in corporate life, and you can derive some examples of it even in interpersonal or behavioral interviews. Let's not say that it does not. Yeah, it does matter. So yeah, that's the trade-off that you have to do. If you have, then you if you don't have work experience, then try to apply for a course which is like 16 months or like 2 years, or a 2 year course or something which allows for internships here in the US. It
Okay.
really helps a lot.
Okay.
The internship, it helps a lot.
Okay. So,
That's about it.
Prashansa, would you like to share with us your long-term career goals or what you're hoping to use this degree for?
Uh, I so the main purpose of me choosing this degree, especially decision science, was how decisions are taken at a business level. So, and I wanted to get into the senior leadership part of it, part of the team. So I'm planning to do that. That's what my 5 year, let's just say, short term goals are. I haven't really decided on my long term goals because I don't like planning that ahead. But yeah, for now at least, I would like to use this degree to have that business understanding as well as the technical capabilities of how to instruct someone or how to be in a leadership role where part of the process and you can easily interact with your colleagues as well as your superiors or your juniors to make them understand what you're trying to understand, what you're trying to build and do, both leadership wise as well as technologically. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, any
Uh-huh.
additional advice that you would like to give to the students who are thinking about studying in US?
Um, I would say one thing is, as I already said, if you don't have any experience, try look out for a course which has internship opportunities. If you do have some experience, I would say do not delay it. Do not delay because of your GRE or GMAT score or any of that part, because it really a lot of a lot of waivers are available for the universities here in the US unless an Ivy League asks you for it. Uh, Other than that, a lot of universities are. I mean, if you try to interact with them, if you try to talk to them, put in some effort, some mail chains here and there, it's all gonna work out. So I think, yeah, do not delay your process because of some score. Be open to applying, and then basically figuring it out if they actually need the score or not. So in my case, IELTS was not needed, but I still gave IELTS because it was needed for universities in Canada. Maybe that was one part, but yeah, just do not delay the process because of an additional score.
Okay, thank you so much for that
Sure.
advice. I'm sure the students will will learn a lot from this interview from you as well. Thank you for joining us today. That was a very effective and fun conversation with you. I had a very good time talking to you, and all
Sure.
the very best for your job tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. And it was really nice to talk to you as well.
okay, yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Have a nice
Yeah,
day.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you too.
bye.
Yeah, bye bye.